this is Darren coming to you from Kamui, Japan, here to talk about Kamui chalk. The reason that we made Kamui chalk in the first place is that we wanted a chalk that was more grippy than the chalk currently on the market. And what's unique about Kamui chalk is that it is much softer than the current chalk on the market, and it stays on your tip better and enables you to put more spin on the ball. As your tip goes through the cue ball, it holds better, so more momentum gets applied to the cue ball, and therefore you get more spin on the ball. And that's what gives Kamui chalk its superior performance. So we have two levels of Kamui chalk. One is the 1.21 that I'm holding, and the other is the 0.98 here with the red label. So this is just a degree of softness. So the 0.98 is a little bit more soft than the 1.21. That means that the 0.98 is a little stickier. There is also a special way to apply Kamui chalk. And we're getting this question a lot because people were coming up saying, you know, I'm having trouble with, you know, excess chalk, or, you know, the chalk not lasting as long as it should. And the reason is that people were chalking their stick like they would with conventional chalk. And if you do that, you won't get good results with our chalk because it is made in a totally different way than any other chalk. So you need to modify your technique a little bit. So the way that you want to do that is, instead of taking the chalk and raking it over the top of the tip, which both is abrasive on the tip, and if you watched our Gator Grip video, you know that we don't want to be too abrasive on a layered tip. So what you need to do with Kamui chalk is, instead of making that raking motion, and if you see here, you can see my chalk is actually shaped a little bit differently. There's not a big hole in the middle, but you see these 4 peaks. And the reason for that is that instead of doing that raking motion, I just take a corner of the chalk and I kind of paint the chalk on gently. And I'm just twisting the cue in my hand and just making that gentle, really gentle raking motion until I get a nice cover on the tip. And you can see I don't have a ton of excess chalk on the tip, and it's staying on when I do that. It's also not falling all over my hand when I'm chalking. If you're doing that, it's too much chalk on the tip. You really do not need a lot. This chalk is almost 6 months old, and it barely has any use to it. And so that's really all you need. And to those players that say, yes, but I want to chalk after every shot, that's perfectly fine. I still chalk after every shot. I do this at the beginning of a rack, and then after a shot, I'll just take it out, and if I notice a spot, I'll just give it a little touch, and then I'll go on. You don't need to repeat that process after every shot. You just give it a gentle touch-up, and then continue on, and it can be part of your pre-shot routine. So that's how to best use Kamui chalk to get the most out of it. Any other questions or comments, please let us know.